Today I'm going to review the My Little Pony Equestria Girls movie, and before I begin, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't go any further. You'd probably be better off getting the DVD or something, but, maybe you want to actually see whether it's worth getting, and let me tell you, right out of the gates, it is definitely worth getting. Because, well, looking at the human forms, I didn't think they were all that bad. And what really helped, well, first let me go back and say what I first thought of when the movie idea first came. I was a little nervous. Nervous isn't really probably the right word, but uncertain. I think a lot of people were, but it was just like, okay, they're gonna be human. If they're gonna be humans, they're gonna be, like regular cartoon humans, with the correct skin and all that. And would they be the same as they were in their pony forms? And it turns out they were definitely like their pony forms, which is, I like that. That kept a transition, did very well. And if you didn't like the movie, the idea, you would at least get to see them as ponies first. Which also brings up Sunset Shimmer. I didn't like her, but as a villain, she really put a lot more action in the movie that would have otherwise not been there. And yeah, they actually had there was a lot of songs in there. I did like Helping Twilight Sparkle Winter Crown. That was probably my favorite. I think that's probably everybody's favorite at this point. And to be honest, I watched the whole movie. I thought it was like one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. So the flaws that were in it didn't bother me at all. They were not, I don't know, it's also kind of nice that they didn't just bring in the main six. They brought in a couple others, like Vinyl Scratch was in there, or DJ Pone 3 if you prefer, but what really surprised me was the fact that Sunset Shimmer becomes this almost demonic-like creature. That definitely blew me away. I did not expect that at all. But, actually, to be honest, I didn't expect her to have a hammer in her hand either. And I think for all of us, I think we've all been where Twilight's been, where you go to a brand new school, you don't know anybody there. And it was nice that they actually kept how I thought Twilight was going to be, like when she first got her wings, like she was going to have trouble with it. I don't know. I thought it was actually rather creative about, Granny Smith being a lunch lady. I think that's perfect. That's almost stereotypical, to be honest, but that's kind of what you expect her to be, I think. I don't know, it was also kind of interesting how Snips and Snails were kind of working with Sunset Shimmer, kind of like the way they were working with Trixie back in Ghostbusters. Actually, they weren't technically, they were more fans of her, I think, back then than they were with Sunset Shimmer. But it's also nice that they actually kept up with the technology. They gave them sort of iPhones for all their, at least a couple ponies had their iPhones out, including Snips and Snails. And even Spike. I thought Spike was perfect, being a little dog versus when he was a little dragon. I mean, yeah, I could have seen, if he started as a little dragon and went to a big dog, that might be a little bit jarring for us, but it was a perfect transition. I think he fit the part actually rather well. Personally, if I had actually thought differently than I did now, I would have seen the movie in theaters, but it wasn't going to be out right away in the first place because it was such, I guess, a limited release. But, I'm not even sure how long 30 moons actually is, but it sounds like a very long time. I would probably say if it's like, I'm not sure what their thought process was for how long one moon was going to be. Is that one phase of the moon, or is that every 28 days being one moon? But obviously it was a very long time because Twilight didn't want to go back there. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking that with Sunset Shimmer, when she wanted to like frame Twilight for the photographs, I don't know, I guess she wanted to go a little easier. I don't even know if they had Photoshop back then. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know Pinkie Pie had a laptop, but that doesn't necessarily mean they had Photoshop then. Or even if they did, maybe Sunset Shimmer just wanted to go a little easier. I mean, obviously they never mentioned Photoshop at all in that movie, so it's probably not likely they actually have it in there. It was also nice seeing the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They were in there too, and they did a little nod not only to their Showstoppers song, but YouTube as well. That's pretty cool. And yeah, they also threw in Trixie. Trixie was in there, and she even gave her signature line. But what I'm not sure is about. It's not really like considered a flaw. It's just curious. I'm just wondering how much what their currency is for the vending machine. Is it 5 cents? Is it? It's probably a bit. I don't know how much that is for our currency, for U.S. currency. It might be 25 cents. Might be a nickel. Might be a dime. Could be $1 even. I doubt it, but it's probably more like 50 cents. It's probably in the coin range like ours. It's probably 50 cents or 25 cents or something, but yeah. Yeah, and I can understand why you might see it's a little odd that, in the helping Twilight Sparkle win her crown, they say "Stomp your hooves." Well, they're portraying as ponies, really. They've got the ears, the headband, and the tail, the accessory tail, if you will. So it makes sense. They're trying to portray themselves as ponies, because they are the Canterlot Wonder Colts after all. It doesn't really make sense to really say "stomp your feet" per se. At least not in my opinion. But I have to say, just to reiterate, this has got to be one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It was epic. And to be fair, it's interesting though, because when watching Friendship is Magic, I wasn't a huge fan of Pinkie Pie or Rarity or Rainbow Dash, but I didn't mind them here at all. They were like... And it's strange, because they kept all their personalities. Their personalities stayed exactly the same. And of course, if you're in Malaysia, this is going to be a bit jarring because you've never seen Season 3 yet. So you have no idea why Twilight Sparkle all of a sudden has wings. So it's going to be totally out of the loop. But yeah, definitely worth seeing. If you get the movie or you see it on the hub, it's worth it. It's worth all hour and 15 minutes long. That's it for my review. Thanks for watching, YouTube.